What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. So after 4 betas of iOS 17.5, Apple just dropped the RC build, and obviously we know there is not a ton of stuff to go over in this release. However, for the EU users, there were some changes here. We are getting a new wallpaper for Pride, as we traditionally do from Apple every year. They did just unveil the new Pride band for this year, and obviously the wallpapers that go with it. So, having said that, this should be a quick video. We'll recap some of the changes in 17.5 and look at the final build number for the RC. The public release should be next week. If you're part of the public beta program, that should even come later today or tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. Okay, so as you can see, iOS 17.5 RC just finished installing, and as we typically do, let's do our temperature check. And one thing I do want to call out while we do this, and you can see it's slowly but surely getting up there, and woo, that is a big number there. I really do want to call out and give Apple props here. If you guys do not follow the channel, we like to do these heat checks just because of how bad the heat disbursement is on iPhones, and that's pretty warm to the touch, right? In today's announcement of the new iPad Pros, they actually said now the Apple logo has copper for better heat management on the inside of that device. I am hoping that that transfers over to the new iPhones for this year's series, and hopefully that'll help with how hot these get and how bad they really manage high heats. Walking outside, looking at the phone in Florida in the summer, even now in spring, it gets very, very hard to see, and it shuts down. It basically, the screen goes black. It says temperature overheat way more often than what it should. Anyways, that's not here nor there, but I did want to call that out, and props to Apple for finally, hopefully addressing this in the iPads, which will correlate over to the new iPhone 16 series devices. Now, having said that, the RC for this obviously is a complete reinstall, and this came in at 6.51 gigs on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And you can see here, it is now running the final build number of 21F79. One other call out really quick too, jumping into a calendar here. Obviously, we are in the first week of May. Well, we have WWDC just over a month away in June on the 10th. And that's obviously a month's time frame to have another beta. We could actually be receiving 17.6 in a short turnaround cycle. Kind of hard to tell. We also might not get anything. We will have to see how that plays out. But I did just want to call that out ahead of time as well. Some of the other changes here in 17.5, EU users can now download apps from the web. That's a bigger one for them. I do want to call out one of the other changes for everybody, and that's going into the Apple Books app. You now have reading goals here, as we've talked about in the prior betas. It's good to see there. We don't utilize podcasts too much, so we don't use this regularly, but if you utilize the podcast widget, the album cover actually does change depending on the cover art that you're seeing. One other call out, which is always something we like to see, is the stopwatch to see if the live activities has been added back. Unfortunately, as you can see here, it still is not activated. Not surprising that in the RC it's not here since it wasn't in the betas, but everyone always asks in the comments, and you guys can see, unfortunately, yeah, still not added here. One thing that was called out in the release notes here is the new wallpaper though. Let me go ahead and unlock this here. And those are going to be that new Pride wallpaper. Let's kind of jump around and add one so you guys can see it. Let's scroll down. There they are. Oh, there's actually a ton of them here. So there's a new Pride watch band coming out. And if you follow the channel, you know we just did our video on watchOS 10.5 RC. They did not have the watch face there. So here you go. You can kind of see it says Pride in all these neon colors. You can do your filters. But there's also a couple of preset colorways here as well. If that's your thing. Looks like there's about 4 or 5. Same concept. Just different color patterns, and then obviously you will have your old ones. So that is the majority of what's been going on in iOS. I do want to call out one other thing. Let's see if the feedback app has been updated. Apple's kind of been slacking here for that. Oh, yeah, and it's still not here. Let's make sure. Nope. So yeah, still nothing new here to call out either. 17.5 has been a little bit of a disappointment as well, especially for, people in the US. Small little UI tweaks and little things here and there, nothing substantial in nature. I'm ready to move on to iOS, if you guys can believe it, 18 at this point, in the next month. We know there's going to be a heavy focus on AI, but what else do you want to see? Let us know in the comments below. What is your wish list for the next major version of iOS? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.